Okay, Aurora, so we're recording, and I'm still down here for one more day, and I wanted to put you on the other side of the camera because you had me on the other side, and I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, although I haven't seen all of your videos, I know that you created a series of videos. I'm curious as to why you did that and what you were trying to accomplish.
Okay. So, well, I started off. The reason I started them was because I came upon a video vlog challenge, which basically was a self empowerment technique to challenge yourself to tell your truth, and to also for me the personal experience was to overcome anxiety and fear from sitting there and talking about my truth. And it started there, and it was just going to be this vlog challenge where I did one video every day and just didn't really have an outline for what I was communicating other than just communicating and sharing, and kind of swerved off of that and just became me making videos nearly every day just about my journey and about my different experiences and perceptions and the way that they would shift and the way that they would grow or the way that they would sometimes fall down and the difficulties that would
What
arise.
what makes
But,
you think, Aurora, that your journey is any different than anybody else's
mhm.
journey at the age of 24?
um, well, I don't. I do and I don't. That's kind of a trick question because, obviously, the journey that I'm on is my journey. I see the world from my being and from my programming and from my personality and from the collected experiences that I've had through life and lifetimes and whatever other reality I might operate within, that I might not be aware of. But at the same time, it's like I think, especially a lot of people my age, are also going through that sort of transformation, that sort of reestablishing and sort of growing into a foundation of who they are and what they actually believe in, outside of like the normal programmed reality or the mainstream reality. So, yeah.
Well, my few interactions with you over the last 4 years has been interesting in the sense that you've gotten yourself involved in the Wingmakers materials.
Mhm.
And 4 years ago, you and I had discussed creating a project called the Quantum Culture Project.
Mhm.
Uh, do you think any of your journey relates to the concepts that we had back there then 4 years ago?
Of course. I think that's why I'm so excited to participate, in it with you because, as I recall, what it was all about and what we were aiming for at that time was to establish a platform that united different spiritual philosophies and different teachings or different ways of living, ways of being, or whatever, and just put them all together. So something that was sort of like a unifying force that uh, kind of changed the way that we segregate each other based on our beliefs. So to find that, to see that, and cultivate a community or a culture that shows how connected we are, no matter what it is that we believe in, or no matter how we identify ourselves or identify with a belief system or a spiritual philosophy or just basic interest.
Do you think that people your age are interested in creating a new culture? I mean, they're so enculturated now in what is going on in society. Why would any young person want to change?
Well, actually, I would say that probably everyone I know, to some extent, wants a change. Anyone in my circle of friends or outside of my circle of friends desires some sort of change, and whether or not that has anything to do with just collectively where we are, and how to a certain extent, frequencies and vibrations are changing. The Earth is changing, and that's even scientifically proven, right? But we can see that there's a lot of flaws in the way that our system is run, in the way that our world is run. When it comes down to um, money and having to be basically a slave your entire life, money, and then the educational systems where it's just all like laid out for you, And I think a lot of people are not okay with that now. A lot of people are becoming skeptical and questioning that, and I don't know, trying to take a stand that, yes, in itself is just a self-empowering sort of place, but it's also a self-empowering that brings you to realize that there are different ways for us to connect to each other that
Yeah.
aren't that are free, that are liberated from I don't know, being trapped within the system, so to speak.
And what would you do and what would you recommend to make such a change, to bring yourself and others out of the system that you don't think is appropriate for this time?
Well, I don't think that it would matter what is actually done. I think, well, from a perspective of like why I feel the way I feel about things now would have to do with learning to, I don't know, operate not in the mind so much, and as in a place of like feeling, and in a place of like truly observing everyone as equal, and as you are, I guess. And when you come from a stance like that, you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to teach anyone anything. You don't have to do anything or follow anything or set up a typical structure. It's just something that sort of naturally begins to occur. And then I don't know, the means of operating in that way, or the means of, I don't know, just exploring different methods like growing food, or like, you know, coming into a community. It's hard to describe in words.
It almost seems like you're relating to what James Mahu said in that interview that we read last night concerning quantum communities. And how did he put it? He said, what's the word? Egalitarian meritocracy. What does that mean to you? What do you think he's saying to the young people of the future?
Egalitarian meritocracy. I'm not even sure.
Egalitarian meritocracy.
Well, it's coming from a state of, so what's meritocracy?
I would think when you do something based on the merit of what you do.
Okay, so it's coming off, it's exchange, and it's equality. It's equality exchange.
Well, what would be the exchange?
You. Or whoever.
The individual.
The individual.
At what level?
You could say spirit level, soul level. It's the level of the heart. Yeah, the level of the heart, of course. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And do you think young people would be interested in that?
Sure. Yeah.
How? Let me ask you a question then, as a young person yourself. How would a young person be so interested in that level when they've been so socially enculturated?
Because I think, well, even in New Age spiritual philosophies, even in that place, there's still that seeking. People want to feel one. People want to feel whole. People want to feel a lack of separation, you know, diminished separation between each other. And especially since New Age is huge right now. Like, especially in my generation, my age, a lot of people are interested in it. And with that, it's just gonna naturally become obvious, I think, that there are limitations in there. And then the idea of removing yourself from that limitation, or whatever it is, that segregation, that separation, is going to bring the individual into a deeper search, or a higher search, or they're gonna try and find a different way, in general, to live without, again, being trapped in society, so to speak.
Do you think that's why James Mahu calls it a new journey in consciousness?
Sure, yeah.
And Darlene Burgess directed the questioning to him as a new journey in consciousness. So what do you think of the concept of the sovereign integral, and how does it relate to that new journey in consciousness?
Well, so sovereignty is the state of being. Like I see it, like the way it comes off to me is a state of being God, like the way that we define God, but not actually God. It's the state of taking control and taking power of who you are individually, and then integrating that. So integrating that with everything, not just some specifics of that, but the whole. And that's why I got lost here.
Do you think that's what young people are looking for?
I mean, I believe so, yeah. I think that's what anyone's looking for. Because it's always, it's always seeking, seeking, and the journey itself has been so externalized. You know, everyone's seeking outside of themselves. And the sovereign integral consciousness and a new journey, it's not a journey to go, you're not going anywhere. You're going somewhere, but it's just shifting your awareness. Like, I think to put it in a better way, for example, if, what's shifted me the most was starting to work with the energetic heart. And that's something I did when I was 18, and I started the Waymaker stuff. And I didn't really get very far into it, but those Living from the Heart Virtue papers. And also doing the meditations, right? What are they called?
Event temples?
Brightening the path.
Mm-hmm.
Like those ones where you bring your awareness into your heart and you imagine that there's this warmth and this energy or whatever you want to picture it as there, and you realize that you can not only send that to yourself or to other people, but you can send that out into the whole entire world. And just doing that changed me, you know? I don't even know how to explain that, but it brought everything to a new place where it's just kind of inherently there, like reactivated what was already there. And that was the journey for me, because I didn't even continue with the material, but it just kept happening. So it's I don't know, difficult to put into words, I think, but.
So if you were to continue the Quantum Culture project,
Mm-hmm.
what would you do and what would you tell the young people?
It's difficult to answer that, I think, because it would always vary upon the situation or the moment in time, because I wouldn't want to be someone telling anyone how to be or how to operate. It's just it would be less about I don't know, the material aspects of living, and it would be more about just opening up or tapping into that inherent understanding of this just being one aspect of who we are, this reality we operate in. So it would kind of be a disengaging or an unplugging, so to speak, of analyzing or articulating or judging or discriminating or separating things, and also identifying strictly with being a body. It would be more about souls and spirits and multidimensional existence, which I think that it would just naturally start to progress from there. You know, it would just sort of start to happen. It would just flow in a different way, and then in those moments of time, in that presence, where you're operating from that presence, there's no we have to be, we have to do, we have to get, or whatever. It's just, you know, it comes together and then it unfolds, it grows. And it doesn't matter what the person's like or how they behave or what their, or not, well, behavior, but what their, you know, personality is or interests, or even if they have a guru or, you know, they're Christian or whatever you want to, you know, it just brings everyone together as that equal.
So everyone together at the level of the heart.
Yeah, at the level of the heart. Which is not just about walking around saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, and not being in coherence with that, because in your head you don't really love the person, or, you know, it's still very mental, still very...
So there's no genuineness to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It's that's that synchronization, that's that aligning, and really just I don't know, yeah, residing here, just fully residing here.
So that's it, residing in the heart.
Yeah.
Great.
Mm.
Anything else?
I don't think so. And do you have any more questions or?
No? Thank you for wanting to edit this book that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's about it.
Yeah. Again, it's just the quantum community, quantum culture. It's not about anything to do with the physical, really, or anything to do with what kind of person you are, or what kind of reality you're identifying in. It's just
Creating a new culture.
yeah, creating a new culture,
Quantum culture.
cultivating something new.
The Quantum Culture Project.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing what you do with it.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.